Hello, all. We are seeing some interesting trends around batting orders in this IPL so far. So, one pitch catch, we have some observations to make. If you see, for example, Tilak Verma in the MI-RCB game, uh, he played an absolute blinder of an innings. And then you compare that with what he did in the previous match. We touched upon it in the previous video when I think he scored like a run ball 30 and then they retired him out and all that. And we went obviously to and fro about whether that was right, just given his batting ability. And he was batting at number five. And then you see today's match, the KKR LSG match that just finished a few minutes ago. KKR is chasing a pretty big total, 230 something, and Russell and Rinku are being held back when actually KKR was doing pretty well. I think they lost a few wickets towards the end, the last 3, 4 overs, but they were very much ahead of the situation for a while. And if, I mean, it's theoretical, right? If Rinku and Russell had come in earlier, then you never know what they would have done. On the other hand, in the same game, there's another interesting batting order issue that happened. Rishabh Pant doesn't even show up to bat. Where I mean, he's had struggles through the last few games. There's videos about his discussions with the owners and the franchisee owners. All of that means that I would have expected. I think we would have expected him to come out and at least give it a shot. I mean, it's a no loss situation, right? They were doing pretty well from a run rate perspective. He could have gained a lot of confidence back, but he didn't show up. On the other hand, talking about batting orders in the GT versus SRS GT game, Washington Sundar gets promoted and he plays an absolute wonderful knock. I mean, we've known about his batting ability for a long time, but he didn't bowl. So I think teams are trying to set these batting orders, set their combinations. They're using the first, say, 4, 5 games to put those things in place. What are your observations, Ganesh?
Yeah, Jaga. I mean, the very wonderful observations about these three batting orders. Like we touched upon in the previous video itself, Tilak Verma getting retired was not a very nice decision. I don't know if it was wise or not. At the end of the day, they lost the game. Um, I'm not saying that Tilak Verma would have won the game for them, but the probability of Tilak Verma winning the game than Santner was higher. That, like we've spoken. And again, yesterday he showed that what he's capable of in the chase versus RCB. Though again, MI lost out, but the way he batted was brilliant. And also, but one thing that is, I think, that is hampering his scoring is he's batting at number five. I don't
Hmm.
know what is the strategy behind Mumbai's think tank to bat him at number five, because for the Indian T20 team where he has scored international hundreds, he bats at number three. In fact, apparently the story goes that Sky, who batted at number three, Tilak went and asked Sky that he wanted to bat at number three, and Sky gave up his position. And the next two games, he immediately got hundreds batting at number three. So, which means he is extremely suited for number three. And they are sending Will Jacks at number three. And their strategy again, Will Jacks yesterday bowled an over in the power play.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, I don't understand what is with Will Jacks. They are sending Will Jacks ahead and giving on over to Will Jacks. It just doesn't work. Tilak Verma should be batting at number three, period. If you have Tilak Verma in the team, he cannot be batting anywhere else. I think he's like the Joss Butler for GT that Joss Butler is doing. He will do that job wonderfully well. And once he bats for 20 to 30 balls, he can hit sixes at will. Anybody's bowling. So that would have made a difference. Him batting at number three, they are sending Namandir. I mean, he's also a clean striker of the ball. Will
He's
Jacks,
it.
Namandir, and all those people. But who at number three is a very crucial position, especially when you lose early wickets. The way Mumbai has been batting, the way Rohit has been batting, they lose an early wicket just in the first 2 overs.
Yeah.
So
That's
Tilak Verma coming
guaranteed.
there would do a lot of good for Mumbai. But I don't know. I still feel Mumbai might still make it to the playoffs, but it's too far away now. It's a very uphill task for them. Earlier, they have had such bad starts and made it to the playoffs. But the challenge now is no. On those times when they made it, there were 8 teams. Now it's 10.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's going to be uh, that much difficult
Eligible.
to make it to the playoffs. Uh, but I think their strategy has to be re-looked at if they have to get ahead. That is one thing. And again, this in the recent game, the KKR lost to LSG. That was a,
Energy.
I mean, the wonderful observation in terms of Punt not coming to bat in the top five. It was a good opportunity for him to come and throw his bat around and get some form and confidence going. That also didn't happen. I don't know why he didn't go through. He kept sending other people to bat. I think he's lacking confidence, and also probably the way Marsh and Pooran batted, he wanted to get them to 240, 250. He probably his confidence is shaky that he might
Yeah.
slow down
Good.
the entire process of score getting to 240. I feel. That's it. I mean, of course, talking about continuing to talk about the batting orders, especially the way uh, Washington Sundar came and batted the
Yeah.
way he did was brilliant, especially after losing two quick wickets in Sai Sudarshan and Joss Butler. GT would have been in a small sort of bother, but what happened was Gill played an absolute anchoring innings there. Gill, other end, he just ensured that the two early wickets doesn't cost them much. So that gave Washington the freedom, and Washington's innings also gave a lot of confidence to Gill. So both of them ensured that the match was a very easy win for GT. And also, on one other thing, very important thing I felt was Washington Sundar was definitely not out. I feel the third umpire
Okay.
was the only
The catch.
person who felt that was out in the entire ground. I think he, like commentator, in fact, one of the commentators said that Nitin Menon is the only person who thinks it's out. He is definitely it bounced. It cannot be. I mean, he should be a regular watcher of one pitch catch. I think.
So in fact, when you mentioned Gill playing an anchor, I just want to clarify that he was scoring at 140. So there are certain other players that function as anchors who score at 100 or 120. Even in even if you're an anchor in T20, you need to be in that 130 to 140 strike rate
And you're
range.
chasing only 150.
Yeah, that's also there. Yeah. Yeah, if you're chasing a higher total, that's different.
Yeah, so I mean, Gill played a wonderful innings. So that way, it is work and I mean to touch upon RCB about. I mean, we spoke about Tilak in that game. I think Rajat Patidar looks the best captain so far in the first 20 games. The way he's handling his resources and the way he goes about changing his bowlers and his batting is also not affected,
Yeah,
which I was extremely apprehensive about when he was named the captain. But I think everything is falling in place for RCB.
yeah.
That the way they had assembled the team, I think captaincy was the problem. I thought, but that's been brilliantly handled by Rajat Paridar, and RCB looks the team to beat. I think it's
Yeah, they've been pretty impressive.
without a tongue in cheek. I think it's Isala Cup Namde. I think.
Yeah, it's been pretty impressive. Yesterday, their batting, it was so purposeful. I mean, you could quibble about Virat slowing down a little bit towards the second half of his innings. He was scoring at 200 strike rate for the first, say, 20 odd balls, and then he eventually ends up with around 160 or something like that. So, but I think overall, they definitely, and I think their bowling is also doing well, right? I mean, when
Very
you
well,
have
and
the person,
exactly. And even Virat,
really
when
hitting them.
Salt got out early, he didn't go into his anchoring mode.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
initially scored well. So that was, in fact, was very unusual role that he played on the first 5 overs, which he also did well. And of course, Devdutt Padikkal also gave Rajat Padidar. Everybody did a great job to get that score up to 220, which was eventually beyond Mumbai's reach. But Hardik
yeah.
Pandya played a blinder of an innings. In spite of Mumbai couldn't make it.
And I think the match was pretty much even until the time Tilak Verma got out, right? It could have
Yes, even
gone
until
Mumbai's way.
Hardik Pandya got out. After that, Hardik got out. That also. Mm.
Yeah, I mean, till the time when Tilak was there along with Hardik, I think the match was probably Mumbai's to lose at that stage. And then
Yes.
the wickets kept getting chipped away. I think Krunal bowled very well at the end. I
Yeah.
mean, the wickets column is bloated a little bit, but he was really good.
Yeah.
Cool. What
So
else?
as we talk, CSK is playing Punjab in Punjab's home game. So let's
They're pretty down.
probably touch upon it in the next video. Or if CSK can see a revival of some sort.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see. Maybe at some point of time, CSK will start saying in the Varsham Cup number this way.
I mean, one other point that across the games that I should not miss to mention is Sai Kishore's bowling, Jaga.
I was
Sai
about to get
Kishore
to
has
that.
been a revelation in terms of I think they call Ashwin the most intelligent bowler for tests in India. I think since he's retired, God has opened another door, bringing another intelligent spinner in Sai Kishore. I think I don't know how the selectors and the BCCI will look at him as a long term India prospect for other all three formats. But the way he's bowling is extremely intelligent. I mean, he is the last 2 3 years he's been bowling well for GT, but this
Yeah.
year he's taken it a few notches ahead. The way he's reading batsmen, the way he's deceiving them with flight, some flatter balls, it is extremely impressive to watch a bowler like Sai Kishore bowl in a batsman's T20 game. Mhm. It
I
is
think you're looking at, I think we sort of posted about it in a brief snip as well, right? I mean, if you were looking at, okay, there's a Tamil Nadu born off spin, I mean, finger spinner that will be in the top wicket takers list.
exactly
It would have probably been Ashwin on people's minds, but instead it's Sai Kishore. Sai basically has he has 8 wickets at an average of 14 and a strike rate of 12. So he's basically getting you wickets every couple of overs and he's giving away at 7 runs an
seven.
over. That is priceless.
Unheard of. 7 runs per over is unheard of in IPL. So he's extremely doing well. And in fact, I mean, he's outshining Rashid Khan.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We're not talking about Rashid Khan and his wickets at all now. Maybe
Yes.
he'll come into his own later in the tournament, but right now, nobody's talking about Rashid Khan.
So he's outshining Rashid Khan, so which is excellent. So I think GT has a great bowler in him, and if our selectors and the BCCI also look at it, I think India have also unearthed the wonderful bowler for the longer format as
Yeah.
well. I feel. Hmm.
It'll be interesting, right? Because at some point of time, Jadeja is going to move on or be moved out. And it'll be a good replacement from a finger spinner perspective. Obviously, the batting abilities do differ significantly, but then, I mean, at least from a bowling perspective, it's sorted out.
Yeah, I mean, right now I think Aksar might get the nod ahead of Sai Kishore, the way Aksar is there. But
Aksar will be a first choice, but
mm,
if you ever have an opportunity to play an extra or rotate people around, then Sai Kishore will come into the picture.
yeah, I think Sai Kishore deserves the place now, the way he's been bowling. I think, and we should not miss out some people when they are at their prime. I think he's bowling at his
Yeah, that's
prime
right.
right now, I think. So let's see how it goes in the long run for Sai Kishore.
Great. That's a wrap for today. So let's come back again maybe in a couple of days with the roundup of the next few matches and any sort of other observations we have. Any closing final thoughts, Ganesh?
Um, MI, CSK, and SRH, who we thought will make it to the playoffs, are at 8, 9, and 10 in the table. So I think we will see after a week and how they have, if they go for, they can't go beyond 8, 9, 10, or they are
Yeah,
making some other way up the table. Let's see.
SRH is actually interesting because you kind of sense that they were trying something different in their previous game against GT. They were not going as berserk as they normally do, but it still didn't work. So they only ended up with 150 or something like that. So,
Yeah,
like I said, teams are just trying out a few combinations, their approach. Maybe SRH has realized that this one way is not working for them. Let's see.
I think they have to. Teams have to fix out. But by the time you figure out a combination and what works for you, you are suddenly 10
That's the
10 games
problem.
on. You will be at the must-win situation.
That's the problem, right? I mean, you're looking at 14 games, you generally would have to win at least 7 of them to have a reasonably good chance. And if you're just playing catch up after the first 4 or 5 games, becomes very difficult.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot, Ganesh. Thanks for your thoughts. Thank you all viewers as well. Goodbye for now.
Like,
Bye.
subscribe, please. Thank you. Bye bye.